Hi guys, welcome back to the second video on Advanced C programming series. Friends, today I am going to tell you about the structure of C program. The structure of a basic C program consists of 5 elements, namely headers, main function, variable declarations, body and the return statement. Each element has its own importance. We are going to have a detailed discussion on each element and have a look over few examples. This video only focuses on the header section, and I am going to discuss each and everything about headers with you, which will be helpful for your placement as well as academics. Please be attentive towards this video. The header is the first section of the C program, which includes all the header files, macros, which are required in the execution of the following program. Okay, friends, file which we have used with the .h extensions are all header files. That means stdio.h, math.h, string.h, stdlib.h. These all files are header files. To use these header files in our current program, we use the #include directive. The header is the first and most important element of the C program structure. Okay, now let's begin with the hash operator. The hash operator is the first character which we write while including a header file. The hash operator is also called a stringized operator. The statements which include hash in the beginning are called as preprocessors, which needs to be called before the execution. That means whichever statements you are writing with the start of hash should be a preprocessor. That means it will be processed before you even execute the program. Okay, please keep in mind that the #include stdio.h is preprocessed. Whenever we are using directives, the content of included header file after pre-processing is copied to the current file for future use. That means if you are using #include stdio.h, then the content of stdio.h is copied into your current program, and while executing the program, the code of stdio.h is copied to your current program. Okay. Now let's see an example. Here it is written #include stdio.h int main return 0. Though it looks like a 5-line code, here there is approximately more than 800 lines of code here, because stdio.h contains more than 800 lines of code. So when you execute this, around 800 lines of code is executed. Now similarly, we can use stringized operator in macros as well. Here we can see we have defined a macro named manage cache, which takes 2 parameters and prints those 2 parameters. Here we are printing #a and #b. That means while the output is coming outside, we are going to get the value of a and b with the string. So here the output will be student and teachers love to study on manage cache. Okay. Now let's begin with the ## operator in macro, double hash. This is also known as token pasting operator. This token pasting operator is used to combine or concatenate 2 arguments at the same time. We will see an example for this also. Here #include stdio.h, then we have a token paster function or macro, and in that what we are doing is we are concatenating manage cache with n. N is the parameter which is passed to the token paster function. Now let's see what is written in the main function. In the main function there is a variable named as manage cache 9, which has a value of 40, and in the token paster function we are passing a 9 as a value. When we are passing 9 as a value, we are seeing here that manage cache #9 means manage cache and 9 will be concatenated. After concatenation, we are getting manage cache 9. We have a variable named manage cache 9 here. So the value of manage cache 9 will be printed in the statement and the output will be received. The output will be manage cache 9 is equal to 40. Now this code is similar to manage cache 9 %d manage cache 9, but here what difference is there between both the codes is the first one, which has macros, is pre-processed. The code is not compiled or executed. Directly when we are in the second one, the code is compiled with printf. Please keep in mind this all of the concepts, because you will not find the same concepts in any another YouTube channel or any blogs. We have researched a lot for these videos, and we are striving our best to give you the best content. Please subscribe to our channel so that you will get the best of the videos notifications every day, and you will excel in your academic career as well as placement. Here, after pre-processing all the header file code, the code is copied to your current program, as we discussed previously. Okay. Now let's have a look on how many types of libraries are available in C. In C, there are two types of libraries. First is the standard library, and second is the user-defined library. The standard libraries are imported using angle brackets. The angle brackets indicate that the header file is stored in a standard directory, and GCC should be able to find the library in the same directory. Okay. For example, we have hash include angular bracket stdio.h and math.h. The second one is user-defined libraries. The user-defined libraries are imported using double quotes. That indicates that GCC should try finding the library first in the current directory, that where the C file is stored. It should try finding the header file in the same directory, and if it does not find in the current directory, then it should go to the standard directory. Now we can see an example for this also. Hash include stdio.h in double quotes. Double quotes we have seen. Why we are using double quotes? We are using double quotes in order to say GCC that maybe this header file is stored in my current directory. Please go to the current directory and take the library, or if it is not there, then please go to the standard directory. Okay. Here on our blog, we have made a collection of around 30 libraries for you guys. We have described all the libraries and functions which are available in C functions. Please go to our blog. We have given the link in description. Please go and read each and every library and see what are the uses and applications of it. It will be very useful for your academic. Okay. Now let's continue with the directives of C. In directives of C, we have seen that we have used hash include in order to include the library in our file. We are using hash define to define a macro. Similarly, there are many directives which are available in C. You can see these all list also on our blog. We have given the link. Please go and view once. Here you can see all of the description is given on the screen. Now we have previously discussed that there are two types of libraries in C. Now we have also seen that there is a user-defined library in C. So how can we create our own library? Okay, so let's start. When it comes to large and complex code, we can always create our own header files. Like if you are having a very large code, you want to create your own header file and include it in your C library, then you can do it. Okay, this really enhances the readability of your code, and it will be easy for you to manage your own code. And now we will try to do one example in which we will create our own header file. So we will go to Turbo C and we will open Turbo C. Here we are going to start and it will open up. Just a minute. Yes, so now we are going to create a new file named as sum.h. We'll create it first. Yes, now we have created a sum.h file. Now here we are going to declare a function named as add, which will take two parameters and will return a value of addition, that is the addition of two parameters. Now we will save the file, and now we will go and create a new file named as mypgm.c. Okay, now in this file we are going to import the sum.h, and then we are going to write the program and use the sum.h file. First of all, we will import our necessary libraries, that is stdio.h and conio.h. Now we will import sum.h using double quotes. Now once we take sum.h, we can declare our main function and which will return int. Now we will clear the screen and declare the variables which we require. Int c. Yes, now after int c, we will add two numbers, that is 10 and 20 into c, and store the value of add of 10 20 into c. Now we will see whether it works or not. We will print the value of c, %d c, and get ch. Yes, now we will run this file. Now we can see the output is 30. This is just because of we are using sum.h in function into mypgm.c. In this way you can use any code. You can write any code in your header file and use it in your C program. This is a detailed explanation of what are headers, how they are included, the two methods to include these files, and additionally how to create your own header files in C. Let's begin with macros. Macros are small programs that are declared using #define. They are implemented in order to have some pre-processed code in the file. Here there are two types of macros in C. First one is object-like macro and second one is function-like macro. In the object-like macro, it is a simple identifier which can be replaced with a code fragment directly. It is called as object-like because it looks like data object in code that uses it. Okay. These are commonly used to give symbolic names to numeric constants. Okay, means you can give p to 5 to p in this way. And function like macro, they work similarly to our usual functions. They can take parameters and also declare similarly. We have seen an example of this before, where we had done manage cache a comma b and we have returned the value of a plus b. Okay. But while declaring a function like macro, you have to use the #define directive. Here we are going to repeat the same example. #define manage cache underscore addition. We are having here two parameters a and b, and we are giving out the value of a plus b. Now here we are giving a table of all some macros which we can use in our C program directly. Here it is date, time, file, line, and stdc. These are the description. All of the here date, time, and file is in the here the date, time, and file is in the string format, and line and stdc are in the integer format. You have to take care that you are giving the proper identifiers. Now we will see an example of macros also. We are going to execute these above examples like date. Okay, now we will go to online GDB. We will open online GDB one file, and now we will select the language, and now we will try printing some of the values of macros which we can use for our own files. Now first one we will try is file name. From we are expecting the name of the file from this macro example. Okay, we have to give two underscores before and after the file, and this should give you the file name. The next for 5 of them we will copy paste the same format, and now we can change them. We'll write here date. Date is also a string literal, that's why you don't need to worry about format specifier here. The file, date, and time, 3 of them are character literals, so you have to give %s over there. And now the line which we are writing here is integer, so we will change it to %d. It is also underscore line, and the last one is ANSI, whose macro name is stdc. Okay, yes, now we are compiling the program. So we did not change the format specifier. Now we will change the format specifier, and again we will run it. And now we can see here the output. The file name is main.c. Above we can see there is a main.c. The time is 11:18, which is also correct.
Now basically we have seen a few examples of how we can use macros and how we can use a predefined macros into our program. Now let's have a look over the directives example. Like we have seen previously that we are using some directives to execute our program, to include and to define some macros. So let's see. The first one is hash define length 2. In the hash define, this directive tells GCC to replace length instances of length with 2. Means wherever we are using length, instead of length we can use 2, and wherever 2 is mentioned you can directly understand that it is a length. Due to hash define, you can rename long variables into your program and you can use them more efficiently. The second example is of hash include. As we have seen this previously, but we are going to revise this once more. That hash define stdio.h using angular bracket means that you are going to standard library, standard directory and searching the file. Whereas if you are using the double quotes, that means that you are going to the current directory first and then you are going to search it in the next directories. Okay, great. Now let's move to the third one, hash undef and hash define. Here the first line says that the file size of the current file should be undefined, should be removed, and it should be set to 32. For the next one, if ndef, if the message variable is defined and there is no such message already assigned to the message variable, then it should assign it as manage cache exclamatory mark, and it is a end if, means you can end the if condition from there. Next, here using the if def debug, using the debug keyword you can tell you can means turn on the debug flag during compilation, and due to this you can compile all the statements which you have kept inside the if def and end if.